In light of events where PvP is mandatory, there are many players who have never stepped foot into a PvP zone and so don't know how to enter and, even more importantly, how to leave once your needed daily quest is complete. Both entering and leaving the Imperial City and Cyrodil can be tricky, so let's get started. So first up, let's talk about the easy thing, which is entering either the Imperial City or Cyrodil. To do this, you simply open up your Alliance War panel by pressing L by default. This opens up this screen where you can either join Cyrodil or Imperial City. There are great guides out there on the differences between the two areas, but just understand that Imperial City is a large circular shaped zone. It's separated into named quadrants, which will help you later, and Cyrodil is a full-blown map zone like you would encounter out in Tamriel, but with keeps and fighting points separated into 3 equal sections for each faction, with each faction controlling more or less keeps and thus land depending on the swing of battle. Imperial City is generally more small group PvP, whereas Cyrodil is more large scale battles. I happen to prefer Cyrodil, but I digress. Alright, so let's choose Cyrodil. Now you'll see on the left side that there are options. There are CP or no CP, and then standard or alliance locked. If you're only in one alliance, then you can use alliance locked or whatever, which means that for the next 30 days you can only go out to Cyrodil as that alliance, so you cannot simply flip characters and log into a different alliance. You can just choose standard if you wish, which is probably the best way, and that gives you the option to switch factions, which will come in handy if you have multiple characters with different factions you plan on going out with, which will be really handy later on when I briefly touch on questing in Cyrodil. Now that you've chosen which campaign, under where it says name, choose the name and right click and enter campaign. Once you've selected to enter campaign, it takes a few seconds, so to enter the campaign, a load screen will appear and then you start traveling. So once you find yourself in Cyrodil, let's look at the map so I can explain how travel works here. First off, you start in what I call the corner of your faction. I am in the Aldmeri Dominion faction, so this is how my area looks. The bottom 2 corner areas are where you can enter Cyrodil, and coincidentally where you must also exit it from. These areas also have daily quests that you can pick up to complete endeavors or events when they are ongoing. Depending on what your faction currently holds depends on your travel options to further areas. As your faction owns connected travel paths, as seen here in yellow for my faction, you can travel directly to those points of interest and back. If the area your faction owns is currently under attack, as seen here on the map, you cannot travel directly there and must instead travel to the closest owned point of interest and then travel by mount. To travel between these points, you must go to one of these Transita shrines, which are located inside of the keeps you can travel to. Once at the keeps, you can travel by mount to where you need to go to complete a quest or to help out in the battle. Now, as a side note, for completing quests in Cyrodil for endeavors, some of these quests are located in towns that might not be under your faction's control, such as Bruma here in northern Cyrodil. As you can see right now, it's currently under the control of Daggerfall Covenant, so if you have multiple faction characters, you could log into that faction and go complete a mission for that person. After you've completed whatever you need to do and when you're ready to get out of Cyrodil, you can leave by traveling back to those corner locations I mentioned earlier. From there, you can travel through normal way shrines that you see here back to your normal places in Tamriel. You're welcome. I hope you learned as much as I did with this guide, and also hoping my boasting about them being fast are accurate. That's going to do it for this guide. Remember to have fun, treat each other with respect, and stay positive.